last 1 minute. Awesome. Wow. This webinar was highly requested. We had so many registrations. I think this was like record-breaking number of registrations. So super duper excited to be with you all today. Awesome, awesome. We are going to kick off. Hello, everyone. Rachel from HomeStack here, and we are proud to welcome our CEO, Will Grewal, today. Hey, Will.
Rachel, Stack Pack, Homestack clients, how we doing today?
Hello. So awesome. We're really excited to have Will on today. Like I said, he's going to have some big reveals. He's going to do a deep dive into what is coming in 2026. Like I said, I don't even know some of these features that are being released. So, Will, welcome and kind of take it away.
Feels good to be here and just hear all the amazing names of all of our awesome clients who are here today. I know the holidays just passed, but it does feel like Christmas came back because this is such a special day for us as we're going over a lot of amazing things of what's to come. There has never been a more exciting time to build, to ship, to collaborate than today here at Homestack. And so we do know that there's a lot of people here, whether you're individual agents, whether you're team leads or your broker owners, just wanted to reintroduce ourselves. Will Grewal, CEO here at Homestack, Rachel Palucci, she is our CX lead here. And we are your silent assassin who built your personalized real estate app. So anywhere that you see Homestack, that's just us, our company, and how we want to continue to build the most stylish and impactful technology for you. But you have your very own app, and it's named and branded to you. So we couldn't be more excited, and we did just kind of want to kick off with like the landscape of real estate, just to paint the picture as to why we're doing what we're doing. So let me start with the obvious, guys. The last few years, it's been a little weird. Low inventory, high rates, more tools than time, and clients who expect Amazon level experiences on one of the most emotional transactions of their life. Last year, we had about 4 million transactions. And this is down from that sugar rush we had here in like the early 2020s when we were averaging about 6.5 million transactions. Now, this is no surprise to you guys. I think NAR came out with a stat here last year about 71.4% of agents did not have a transaction. So we are leaning in to how can we build technology that consumers crave, that consumers love, that consumers adopt. And I really want to kind of unpack this portal track. So M&A was crazy last year. You guys heard the news. Anywhere was acquired by Compass. Zillow is kind of vertically integrating their services. Redfin was acquired 1.75 billion by Rocket. Mr. Cooper 9 billion all stock. And so when you look at what these individuals are doing, the playbook and the strategy has never been more clear. Zillow's always gamified real estate and built tools that consumers gravitate towards. Redfin origination centered all around the land and expand as a cost leader while discounted commissions while building technology that consumers love. And so we're starting to see this evolution, guys. We're starting to notice that they went from listing aggregator to a full stack housing ecosystem centered around search, agent tools, financing, and servicing. And it's all around one common goal to create a client for life, all centered around a super app. And so the winners in 2026 won't be the ones doing more. They'll be the ones doing fewer things better with technology that actually stays with the clients after close. And so that belief is what drives us to our 2026 roadmap, guys. So, Rachel, should we get into it and go over a lot of the new breakthroughs?
Let's get into it. I'm dying to hear what's going on here.
Cool. So we're starting with a bang, guys. Uh, Today we wanted to go over three amazing capabilities ahead, but we would be remiss to not inform you that there is a lot of cool news ahead. You can expect a brand new mobile app design. Now, every single journey has been carefully analyzed from the user journey to the agent journey to the team lead journey, all the way up to the broker owner journey. And when I say new design, I mean everything. We're talking about a new sign up onboarding flow for users, a new today section that organizes the highest intent actions on your application, a new detail view, and so much more. The tools are seeing a facelift, and automation will be throughout. But we wanted to be very mindful of what we built towards, and we wanted to say no to a lot of things. Luckily, we've been very fortunate of having amazing client base that we work alongside. And Rachel, Evie, Kayla, and our client experience team is no stranger to receiving feedback requests as we review our feedback log every single week. And so what we always kind of say is what we had yesterday is different than what we have today. And what we have today will be different than what we have tomorrow. And that's part of all of our innovation that we're excited to kind of reveal here with you guys here today. So, something our team covers weekly is not only the feedback log, but it's really you guys who shaped our product here over the past few years. And so,
Yeah.
as you can kind of
Oh,
see,
sorry, Will.
yeah, no, as you can kind of see, new design, new tools, new automations, but really the same secret weapon. And we really want to lean into certain things that you guys can harness. Go for it, Rachel.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the agent journey because I think that has probably been one of our most requested features on the agent end. They want more notifications, they want more updates on, the people who are looking the most, the people who are viewing the most properties. And so I think that's going to be really, really cool. That's really exciting to hear. And, you know, tell us a little bit, Will, if you wouldn't mind, about how this new design is going to help to deepen that client relationship a little bit for the agent.
Yeah, so I'd say a lot of our decision framework, I'd say the first question that we always ask is like, does this deepen the client relationship? And really, there's this expectation today that consumers want things done, they want them streamlined, they want them at their fingertips. They want this 24/7, 365 instant gratification type of concierge. Now, look, we're not crazy. We know each and every one of you guys are busy developing and deepening personalized relationships. We all have 24 hours in a day, 168 hours in a week. You got to sleep for some of them, you got to spend time with your family for some of it, and then you got to work. I think this is kind of where you can separate yourself and offer this concierge service that works on your behalf 24/7, 365. And so when you start to talk about the minimum viable expectations here in 2026, mobile, as all of the other companies gravitate towards a super app to create a client for life, this is kind of like our core pillar here.
Very cool. So how is this going to work for, like, say, like a brokerage versus a team versus like a single agent? Because we really have the gamut here at Homestack that we service. So how is that going to play out and be advantageous to all the different types of models that we have on today?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the best part of our job, right? We're kind of a B2B to C company that works with different cohorts and different individuals that specialize in certain things. We always look at kind of how do things scale across all user types. And so it doesn't matter if you're an individual agent, if you're a small dream team or a mighty team of 10 plus. We are constantly looking at how we can make this scalable from zero to infinity as ambitions continue to grow and as you continue to grow at your team.
Very cool.
So I would say, kind of without further ado, Rachel, let's jump into our first release here. And this one I'm actually most excited about.
Cool, cool.
Go for it.
So, most tech disappears the moment a transaction closes. Our focus is making sure your brand doesn't. So, let's talk a little bit about what this means as far as the Home Hub.
So, everybody, welcome to the Home Hub. This is what we're very, very excited for. We wanted to introduce the Home Hub. This is a home ownership portal for your clients inside of your mobile application. So, I will never forget this story I had. It was about a year and a half ago with a client out in South Carolina. And he tells me, he said, Will, my app, it's kind of like a dating app. And we paused for a little bit. I'm like, what are you talking about, Tim? He's like, no, 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 no. Hear me out. I love my application. People use it. Once they find their home, they ended up getting what they needed from it and then kind of move on. And I kind of lose touch with them. Very similar to how people use dating apps. Once you find the love of your life and you go on a date, you delete the app and you go on. And that was such an interesting reveal that Tim provided me. And I think so much of the chase these days, guys, it's part of the equation of top of the funnel lead generation, middle of the funnel lead collaboration and lead nurture, bottom of the funnel, this is lead conversion. And this is when you win the deal, whether you represent the buyer or the seller. But we want to learn and we want to play the long game here. Going back to the super app of creating a client for life. For any of you guys that are paying Zillow or any other portals for leads, the only path to profitability here is making sure that your converted lead works with you again. And as we know, the stats don't lie on average. People move every 7 years. And what we noticed here back in, 5, 6 years ago is individuals locked in on very affordable interest rates, essentially acting as kind of like this golden handcuff, right? So you've got a 2.7, a 3.1, a 3.2% interest rate, and people are a little bit more apprehensive to move. I know that these conversations are conversations that you're having all day, every day. So really what we want to do is we want to complement your buyers with a dashboard that educates and gamifies their asset, which is why we introduced the Home Hub. Within the Home Hub, your clients can see real time what their home is worth. So this updates regularly on a monthly basis. There's no guessing here involved. Think of it as a better version of, say, the Zillow's estimate or anything like that, where they can get the instant gratification. In addition, within AVM, they'll be able to kind of track their equity. So I think knowledge is power. So often than not, they don't even know what their equity is here today. So once they understand that information, we can work with them and better apply some of their earnings to certain opportunities. Homeowners always want to know what's going on in their neighborhood. So we've designed smart seller reports that they can distribute weekly, monthly, or quarterly that shows all of the neighborhood stats and trends. Everyone's a nosy neighbor out there. They want to know what the home around the corner may have sold for. But this is very, very powerful as you're providing them these key data points and all these key insights. Again, personally branded on your behalf as a push notification and or as an email. Couple final things here. If you have a Mortgage Pro inside your application, which I think about just north of about 60% of our platform powers their app and leverages a lender to co-brand with them inside their application, we can shine a spotlight on them to answer any lender related questions that your clients may have as rate shift. And then finally, last but not least, guys, we did want to make sure that each and every one of your clients can actually update and claim their own home inside of the app, as well as work with CRMs that pass that field so we can automatically provision them for this. So we are really harnessing the power of data, education, intelligent suggestions, all wrapped around neighborhood comps and seller reports. And I think kind of the future here is although transactions are down, as we mentioned last year, about 4 million, as things start to change, having access to this information and key signals that your consumers are unlocking their equity, seeing how much their home is worth, being very engaged with the comps, I think is yet another strong signal for you to be able to work with potential sellers and offer a real-time concierge with checklists that your clients are craving, whether they need to replace their air filters, whether they need a roof inspection, whether they need ancillary services like so many of you guys have in your app resources with lawn care and or additional maintenance. The Home Hub is bringing that to life. So, as Rachel kind of put it, most tech disappears the moment the transaction closes. Our focus is making sure your brand doesn't.
This is really cool. Well, first of all, I didn't know Match.com was one of our biggest competitors. No, I know. No, this is awesome. Again, on the CX front lines, we're working with clients every day. And I think more and more, like you were saying, well, with the interest rates and clients just wanting to know what's going on in their markets, this has been something that's been highly requested. I wish I had something I could whip out during a listing presentation. I wish I had more information. The app is really great at giving me those market stats, but I wish we could go deeper. And how do we keep our clients in post sale? And this is the key. This is really exciting. I think everyone's going to love this.
I think the intelligent suggestions, like leveraging data and providing your clients with checklists on reminders that they need to anticipate as kind of a homeowner is really, really key. So, like, as I mentioned before, from something as simple as replacing air filters to reminding them about property taxes, we want to make sure that you're with them the entire time, post transaction, as they gain equity, confidence, and education on how to handle their asset best.
Very cool.
Cool. So, up next, I just wanted to float this big number at you, Rachel, 35,000. What do you think 35,000 represents?
Oof. App users, our
Oh,
clients, agents. Hit me with it. Hit me with it.
all,
That's a big
all
number.
good,
That's a
all
big
good
number.
stuff. These are the number of decisions that us as human beings we make on a daily basis. And it's pretty wild. I heard this stat from the CEO of Perplexity. Perplexity is one of the LLMs out there. You guys may have heard of ChatGPT, OpenAI, Claude. Perplexity is an LLM. And the CEO said something really, really interesting. Humans on average make 35,000 decisions daily. And I think this is an interesting way to look at the TAM of AI. And not that it's designed to eliminate decisions you make. Rather, it's intended to handle the decisions that you don't have to make so you can focus exclusively on those that matter, which is why we developed and we wanted to design HomeStack Intelligence. The future of the world of AI will make data and decisions feel invisible over time. Kind of like how we breathe air. It'll just happen. There's a lot of decisions that we make in our daily lives, guys, in regards to what content do we send? Where do we send it? How will it perform? Or even in the real estate world, determining on what homes should we look for our clients? How does their lifestyle fit into this home? We're extremely bullish that low impact decisions will be automated and invisible into the future. And so early on, my thesis, my take kind of on AI, guys, I thought this was going to solve big strategic initiatives. I'm not going to lie. But where in reality, it's solving the death by a thousand paper cuts. And it's actually doing a really remarkable job at that. A lot of the high friction, kind of like lower stakes decisions, it's removing a lot of that. And so when it comes to knowing context, turning listing images into videos, providing smart one-tap suggestions, and better understanding each and every one of your users on your application, this is something in which we're digging in extremely deep. And so, Rachel, kind of a few little tools or a few little examples on how we intend this to work. So, in
I
order,
also I also agree with you 100% where, I think when AI first came out, it's like, oh, it's going to do all these big things. And I think especially in real estate where you don't want that relationship taken away, right? Because that is the big strategic initiative with agents working with their customers. You don't want that personal relationship to go away, but what are all the annoying little things, right? That AI can kind of take care of for the busy agent. And that's where I think a lot of our new features are really going to come in, especially when you're in your car and this is in your mobile app and you're on the go. So, the static database to the living, breathing digital assistant on your phone, kind of there for you 24/7. I mean, I even take meetings with half agents half the time and they're like eating their lunch in their car and they're on their way to showings and you need that data right in the palm of your hand. How can AI kind of step in and take care of those little annoying tasks, right? That you just don't have the time to do.
you're completely right. It's absolutely incredible, and a lot of the things that our dev team and our product team are prototyping right now wasn't even a possibility 18 months ago. And that's why I kind of go to like my opening statement. It's like there's never been a more exciting time for us to build, develop, and ship than here right now. And I think being very like intentional and actionable, I wanted to kind of put this together for you guys just so you kind of have an expectation of like not only the new design, not only the capabilities, but really how you can get the most out of this. And so, like traditionally, what we've noticed is a lot of brokerages, they've thought of their CRM as somewhat of like a static database. It's a place where leads may go to die at times, names, numbers, a couple of notes, just endless reminders to follow up. But instead of having a static Rolodex, we really do believe that it should become this living, breathing type of digital world, digital assistant here in the future. And that's the world where we're creating inside of your mobile application. And so imagine this. You open your branded app, and instead of seeing a long list of contacts, you're having a conversation with your AI assistant. You ask, who's most likely to tour this week? And it instantly pulls up Richard or Julia because the AI has already looked at their behavior, search history, and their engagement. Or let's say you're managing 200 leads. Normally, you'd have to manually segment these, click on tags, filter these. What we want to do is we want to provide ways of auto identifying these through clusters so you don't have to waste your time guessing intent. The system groups them on your behalf. And or let's say you have a super user. They've logged into the application for the first time in 7 days. And after that, they log in every single day for the next 3 to 4 days and search 10 plus properties. In our opinion, that this is a burst of activity. And so we can cluster them and signal to you that there might be more higher intent here. And so instead of just sitting down and creating campaigns from scratch, dynamic alerts and nudges go out automatically. The right buyer gets the right push notification at the right time. And that's zero extra effort for you. And so this is kind of where we lean into this hyper personalization era. The net effect is that every client feels like they're the only client. AI is constantly hyper personalizing communication, so you're building all of that hyper trust. And that's the magic. Moving from database where you chase leads to AI driven assistant that makes sure no opportunity slips through the cracks and no client is ever forgotten. What do you think, Rachel?
I think this is going to be amazing because we are in that hyper personalization era. I feel like my Target app literally knows me. Like I get a push notification when I'm like, school supplies are on sale, 30% off, literally as I was thinking I need to get my kids school supplies. Like our apps and with AI, it's going to start to almost know what we're thinking before, like while we're thinking it. So I think when you're trying to best serve your clients as a real estate agent and you're inundated with a million questions and a million requests and all this data, Now, if you're being served it through your app because people are looking and the app's collecting all that data, it's going to give you all of these nice little nudges. And you're not going to have to give every one of those little nudges, every time they're viewing something. Hey, this person just viewed a property. It's going to automatically send that little push notification. Hey, they should schedule a tour with you. So, love, love, love this. And I think this is going to be huge. And this is just the direction that, the world is headed in.
We kind of had I had a conversation with Amir, our lead designer here last week, and we were kind of going back and forth, and we're saying, what is like the best way to manage clients in the future? And he said an interesting thing where he says like the best interface is no interface. In that, in the future, a lot of this will be autonomous and a lot of this will be working on your behalf, but clearly showing exactly what signal and what follow-up needs to take place and not necessarily having us kind of filter and siphon through that. And I don't think we're there quite yet, but that's really a direction in which us as a company, and I think, big tech is really going after, is creating things that are more of an invisible interface that is acting on your behalf. And so, no, we're very, very excited. I do truly believe that we have graduated from the analog era, guys, where you used to have the MLS books into the digital era, which we have IDX websites and consumers have more information at their fingertips. And we have officially moved into the hyper-personalization era where we're going to cut out the noise. These aren't going to be the one size fit all messaging campaigns. And we need to do a better job understanding all of our users on the platform to provide them with the right message at the right time, highly personalized with all the contextual data that is being harnessed through your mobile application.
Very cool.
So we've talked about a lot here. We've talked about home ownership dashboards, amazing post-transaction engagement tool for sellers. We went over the future of hyper-personalization with HomeStack Intelligence. Rachel, why don't you kind of kick off one of our favorite parts? And this is like near and dear to our heart, our core competency, middle of the funnel when it comes to collaboration.
Yes, we love to tell a story. And of course, as realtors, you all love to tell a story as well. So we wanted to really bring to life within your application how each listing is considered a distinct narrative. So we want to be able to let you all assemble a collection of stories rather than a continuous book. Step one of this is something that we have been rolling out over the past, few months, few weeks with those lists. You guys as agents can now make that curated list of properties to kind of prove your value and hand pick and hand deliver that list and share that curated list to your clients and prospects. If you're doing a day of showings, you can put those properties in there. If you really just want to make it seem like you understand their search, you can put together all those properties based on exactly what they have requested from you. So it helps you to prove your value as an agent. And it also helps you to really show that you understand your client and your customer, helping to more closely create that bond between you. So this is kind of step two and where this is kind of going within the tech. So let's take a little quick view of this.
So we want to introduce you guys to the next evolution, as Rachel mentioned, from our Homestack shareable lists, and we wanted to introduce you guys to our Homestack collections. Most client communication today is very linear, guys. It's text over here. There's an email over here. There's a link, and then we're done. We've actually analyzed all of our data, and we've got north of about 3.2 million chat transcripts. And one of the things that we've heard from our clients is, chat is amazing, but there are times where our clients are sharing listings inside of chat, and then we're kind of going back and forth talking, and then another listing is shared in chat, and then a week goes by and they're referencing the first listing and everything is commingled, and there tends to be a little bit of excitement and possibly double work uncovering what they ultimately wanted to collaborate around. And so collections changes this. We wanted to be extremely intentional with how we designed this for the user experience. Collections seamlessly weaves your favorited properties with automation, chat, collaboration, and coordination to elevate your workflows to unprecedented heights. And really, the execution on combining peer-to-peer chat without cannibalizing collections was really crucial during our development and as we kind of walked through this entire customer journey. Feature redundancy is taken into high regards. We truly do believe that each listing is considered a distinct narrative. So, as Rachel put it, let's assemble a collection of stories rather than a continuous book. Now, each collection, this will be hand curated for you to share with an individual or a group. Think of it as your go-to workspace. When you're working with a prospective buyer, they can leverage this tool. So in addition to sharing listings, you'll be able to have ongoing conversations in a thread, all containerized. I might have made up that word, containerized, but
I
all
like it.
containerized around that specific listing. And so smart automations will be included as well to inform all parties when a significant event takes place. So play with me for a second, guys. Rachel, I set up a collection with you, and we've got 123 Main Street on this collection. Now, not only will you be able to provide some of that positive feedback that you see here on the right in regards to a thumbs up or a thumbs down, not only will we be able to chat back and forth around this specific property, there will be smart automations that are put in place. So one automation could be if the property receives a price increase or a price decrease, your bot will automatically inform all parties here that there has been a significant change on this property. Let's say an open house is added to the calendar. Your collection will automatically populate that an open house has been added to the calendar. In addition to that, any life cycle changes, if the property goes from active to pending or from pending to close state, all of the automations will be put in on your behalf. So with this, we'll notice better conversations, fewer follow-ups, and ultimately higher trust and faster actions to accelerate the process from discovery to close. And so we put together, a quick little stitch from our test application just to show you guys exactly how this can look and how this feels. So as you can see here, detailed view, you as an agent will have access to the collections button up in the upper right-hand corner. You can name that collection, you can add a note, and on the bottom you see that little toast button pop up. Once you go into a collection, you can invite people, whether this is peer-to-peer or invite a husband and spouse. In this case, we invited Caroline and Matt, and now the fun begins. You can add a note. Note could say, I think you like this one. Once this gets submitted, your consumer will receive a push notification in real time that a new contribution has been added to the collection. Now, for any of you guys that may have used Instagram and shared or set up a collection on Instagram with someone where you can pin specific posts, it works in that same exact fashion. And so partnering up with us here at HomeStack, you get the benefit of a remarkable team that focuses on all of the portal apps. We specialize here on prop tech and residential real estate, but we aren't afraid to look at the highest engaging applications out there as well, like the social applications, to add a unique wrinkle to again help accelerate the process from discovery to close. And we're very, very confident with HomeStack Collections, we'll be able to do just that for you. What do you
I
think,
love
Rachel?
that. I love that this takes it from just a search tool, like a one-sided search tool, to like true agent client collaboration. The back and
And
forth is there. You can get you're taking that real life relationship into the mobile app, which is going to be game changer.
we really do want to double down on this really being a defining moment where you can actually live with individuals on buyer consultations, get them into your application, and let them know that this is going to be the dedicated workspace on how we get things done. And
Yeah.
we're very, very confident that when you combine automation with transparency and elegant user experience, we can really containerize this and make sure that we are kind of solving that problem that we hear from each and every one of you guys every single day, that the communication right now has been very linear. You might receive a text, you might receive a link, you might receive an email, you might receive a phone call. Let's all put that in one seamless place so we can work together. You can go fast by yourself, you can go far with others. And that's something in which we want to double down on.
Very cool.
So there's a lot more here, guys. We don't necessarily want to make this just a full feature dumping conversation. I can talk about all of this until I'm blue in the face. This is what gets me
Yes, you
so
can.
charged. This is what gets me so charged up. But, we definitely did want to just kind of provide you guys with a quick little teaser on what's here to come as we continue to double down as your mobile specialist. You can expect additional showcasing in regards to content creation, one click to share to social media. We're playing with a listing studio, ability to restyle and stage any listing directly from the palm of your hand. We really want to lean into more automation, sending the right message at the right time, sending push notifications automatically. Rachel, you did mention something about Target before. One of my favorite things about push notifications is it does kind of create that like magical experience. As soon as we wrap up this meeting, I am heading to the airport, flying out to Austin for a conference. Very, very excited for that. And one of the cool things that pops up is as soon as I walk into the airport, my Apple Wallet automatically sends me a push for my boarding pass. And
So
so this is kind of the direction that your clients are expecting these days. They do want that one click Amazon type of experience, all at the palm of their hand with the guided trust of their real estate agent right there by their side. And so I know that we did want to kind of push this off to our clients real quick, all of those who have, been extremely generous with your feedback. They're here today, very, very excited. So, Rachel, if you kind of wanted to frame this up, that'd be incredible.
yeah, let's kind of open it up to you guys because of course we do always get the best feedback from the agents that are in the field using their app every single day. So let's open it up to number one. Do you have 1 to 3 agent client problems that AI can eliminate immediately? Maybe you guys are already using AI for certain things. Maybe you don't even know the possibilities of AI listing descriptions. Maybe you just want to send a little follow up email to somebody and you don't want to think about how to write it. You just want to input the information and you want it to sound pretty, right? That's going to come from Chat GPT or Claude or one of the big AIs out there. So let us know from a real estate standpoint, and you guys can put this into the Q&A, and we can kind of read some of them out loud. Do you have like 1 or 2 client agent client problems that you think AI can eliminate, or some way that we could put some sort of AI into the app to solve that problem? Okay. Hey, Chris Winstead. He said, does the collection, this is a little bit different, but does the collection allow couples to see all their properties and favorites?
Yes. So, not only can the agent set that up on a peer-to-peer level, the intention is for us to group this as well. And so, we all know there's always one CEO in the household, and there's always another one who's more of the ops specialist. And so when we can combine the two, it allows us to move faster. And so, yes, Chris, really one of the strongest intentions for collections is making sure that not only can this be peer to peer, that we can group this to make sure everybody's on the same page at the same time.
Cool. And Chris, just to answer your follow up, can we send the list of homes as one push notification? You can actually do that now. If you create a curated favorites list and you share that with your customer, they'll get a little push letting them know that they have a list that was shared with them. So I can send you a little follow up on that as well. All right, question one. We use AI to create a whole marketing plan for each specific property, pulling in data, medium income, attrition rates, DOM, etc. So that's something that that All City Homes and Chris is already doing. That's really cool. So that might even like kind of be Home Hub-ish, will eventually. Maybe
Yeah,
not a little bit, yeah.
that's incredible. I
Mm-hmm.
think I think when it comes to listing presentations, there's everyone's at a different point in the journey. And I
Yeah.
think us as professionals, we want to meet them where they are, not put them where we want them to be. And that requires a lot of being intentional, that requires a lot of patience, and it requires a lot of listening. And anytime we have this context, we can provide an optimal result. And so I think to Rachel's point, one of the things that we're doing with the Home Hub, specifically kind of on the seller's reports, is we're taking a lot of this abstract data, but really centralizing it around one key indicator, and that's property address. Property address is going to be our unique identifier. And so whether it's trends, whether it's active inventory, whether there is a surplus of listings within, that hyper localized area, average price, days on market, we do want to take away all the guesswork and consolidate this all into one beautiful report in which we can send out to the sellers. So I do think the Home Hub is really going to knock it out of the park when it comes to leveraging all these key data points and making sure that they feel comfortable with one of their most expensive assets that they do have.
This is interesting from Dick Crawford. He said, "Let's try to explain the market conditions may have influenced the recent price change or why the house sold so quickly. Bigger picture. Have interest rates dropped? Zoom back and explain the bigger picture and what may have caused the activity." That's interesting. That's cool.
Dick, how's it going? Shout out Dick Crawford.
OG, Homestack OG.
So Dick was actually very instrumental kind of in the birth of the Home Hub. And I think through a few of these conversations, he is nailing it right there. I think the tech can be a tool, right? The tech provides education to the end user, but really the secret weapon is you. You as the professional, you as the real estate agent, you are the star of the show. And again, when you have context and when you do have a little bit more data, you can take a more 30,000 feet up view and then really drill into it and find out all of these nuances. We don't know if there's power lines that are running directly through their backyard. We are not sure if there's train tracks that are a block away that is creating noise. We don't exactly know what the street noise or kind of the street traffic looks like. And so that's really where you guys come in and you can have these like high value educated conversations. And then at the end of the day, I kind of want to go back to like that golden handcuff. Like I have so many peers that have purchased a home and they're excited that they bought it, but they feel like they're stuck there for the next 30 years. When in reality, that might not be the truth. And I think when it comes to education, when it comes to unlocking their equity, when they know that they do have options where maybe you stay here, but you actually double down and you take some chips off the table and you parlay that into maybe a second home. Or we let them know, hey, you actually can afford your dream home. You may not have realized this. Here's the trade-off. We really want to kind of promote these conversations here on a day-to-day.
I love this one from Chris Pendergast in Hawaii. Aloha, Chris. He said, "Can the app engage a user who registers with warm questions so the agent can follow up and launch from those touch points?" I think that's kind of cool, and that's I think where some of that intelligence is going, right? Will where it's kind of going to field maybe some of those questions in the chat eventually.
Aloha, Chris. Early morning to you. Thanks for making it this early for you. That's exactly it. So right now we do offer kind of a chat bot where you can actually set it up and it can send a welcome message to each and every one of your users. But I do want to go back to like one or two slides before where I talk about hyper-personalization. And I think that is going to be the difference of good versus great. Good is putting everything in a box and having standardized messaging. Great is meeting people with where they are and being able to have a ongoing conversation based around sentiment. And so I don't want to show too much to overwhelm you guys today. But one of the things in which we're looking into is actually taking some of your writing style, your communication style, and making sure that the messaging is as crafted as if it's coming from you and not coming from us. Because each and every one of you guys has a secret weapon, and that's really your personality. I know that there's so many people on this call, you might be extremely type A. You are very militant, you are very actionable, you are very outcome driven. And then there's others that are like the key educator, where you lean in with empathy. And we want that messaging to be very shaped into your voice. And so, yes, not only will it be, automated conversations, we really want to understand your sentiment so that we are delivering on the messaging. So it's coming from your style and not just our style.
This is kind of a good one too. Oops, I think I lost it. Oh, this was a good one. On as far as the collect, this was a collections question. So once the collection is made, the agent sets it up, and the agent and client are going back and forth. Will the client be able to also add to that collection in a true
Yeah.
collaboration form? Yeah, that was a good question.
Yeah, so it's peer to peer, right? So at the end of the day, I think the collection has to start from the agent. This is showing value, this is showing a target, and this is showing that we're able to listen and kind of kickstart things. But at the end of the day, I think if we've proved anything, and I go back to my analogy of the analog era where, the MLS books and that was kind of Gatescape to the digital era. The one thing that the digital era did a great job at is that consumers do want to be in the driver's seat. And we don't always know what the consumers want unless they share it. And more times than not, they don't even know what they want until they start to experience it. And I think that's kind of the power of agent insights. And one of the things, we've had conversations with clients, and one of the clients may say, I'm working with a buyer and they said that they want to move to Yorba Linda or they want to move to Irvine. And then you start looking at their data, and they're looking for properties out in Ladera Ranch. And you're like, what the heck? Why didn't you tell me this? The reality is that the consumers may not know that right away until they actually get into the driver's seat. They start searching and they start experiencing things on their own. So we by no means want this to be a one-way communication. We truly do want this to be a collaborative platform where not only the agent can contribute, but the consumer can add properties as well.
Cool. And then how can we use the app to update clients on the pre-listing to sold process?
So I think that's going to be kind of an interesting era in which we're entering. I think one of the big conversations out there at a national level is really kind of affordability. And not only that, it's we're having this new segment of renters who are becoming first-time home buyers that feel like they're priced out. And so whether it's from pre-listing to close, I think that there's a lot of tools. One in which a lot of our clients are using it's our super listings. And this is an opportunity to take kind of static images and create like a fly-through drone-like world-class video experience. And so you can utilize a lot of that kind of on the first meeting on the listing presentation. Now, one of the things in which we're double downing kind of on the close process, that's going to be where kind of data is important. And it's using kind of your back end and making sure that we're assigning tags to all of your users. So, for example, if you have a user and you have a tag of, say, open house lead or a hot buyer, once they purchase the property, it is important to update that with a sold tag. And then ultimately with the home hub, making sure that they set that up. And whether that's through, hey, congratulations on 123 Main Street, you found your dream home. Next up, I've set up a home hub for you where you can track all of the property appreciation or you can get education on the property. So it doesn't start or it doesn't finish when the home is transacted. We need to treat everything around the thesis, and that's the client for life. These clients, they don't grow on trees. They are constantly looking up for leveled up service. And so any way that we can kind of keep the communication tight and you can constantly add value to the database in which you've worked so hard accumulating, we want to make sure that we can deliver on your behalf.
Cool, cool. Dick Crawford said, integrate a Myers-Briggs profile into the agent's HomeStack profile to help the app use an appropriate voice for us.
There you go. I would love that. Those never get old. And guys, this is kind of the thesis in which we're going after. These are the key questions in which we want to hear from you. One of the things, we've always wanted to lean into is better understanding our customers because when we better understand you and your needs and what's valuable for you, we can deliver kind of a world-class experience and it's a win-win for all. And so, if you guys, I know Rachel lost really, really good questions. I'm sure they're coming through. If anything comes up, definitely shoot us an email or have conversations with us. But feel free to take a screenshot of these questions. This is kind of our North Star. This is what we gravitate towards. This is what we want to solve.
Very, very cool. Um, we are so happy that everyone came on and chatted with us today. Thank you so much for being here with us. These are really great to hop on, once a quarter, kind of update you guys on everything that's going on. Maybe we'll do this again in Q2 just to kind of update you on everything that the progress that we've made and when all this stuff is rolling out. But we are so grateful for all of you and we love the feedback and like Will said, shoot us any emails with any feedback that you have. You know me, Rachel at homestack.com, and Evie and Kayla, and we're always in constant contact with you guys. So feel free to give the feedback. We love it to always improve the product and turn that into some results for you guys because that's what it's all about. We want to better serve you as agents so that you as agents can better serve your clients.
Absolutely. And one last thing here on all of this. For those of you who were in attendance here today, we did want to make sure that this is kind of a special only that we provided to you. And so as we kind of update all of the applications, those who are in attendance today are going to get the priority update across our entire client base. And so you will be receiving all of this first. This is our way of saying thank you for always being a part of our journey.
Guys are the
Rachel,
VIPs. You're the VIPs today.
Rachel, this was so much fun, so rewarding. And like I said before, what we had yesterday is different than what we have today. What we have today is going to be different than what we have tomorrow. And there's never been a more exciting time than to be in this journey with you guys.
Amazing. Thanks, guys.
Have an
Bye.
awesome day.